My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Nunas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And today, we are going to talk about a show that's been around for a while that we all just recently started watching ourselves. But before we get to that, what's everyone been watching?
Let me see. Legal High still. I haven't finished it. I think it's over, but I haven't finished it yet. It's one of those ones that, like, you enjoy it while you're in it, but it's super forgettable. So, like, I just forget. And now that Andrew's, like, finished watching it, he's not going to be tweeting about it, and it won't remind me anymore. So hopefully I'll finish that. I will finish it because I'm close. It is good. I like it. So finally finished Touch Your Heart. Cute. I fast-forwarded a lot through the last couple episodes. Like, just kind of, I didn't care about the, like, murder law thing. I was like, whatever. Actually, a friend of mine on Instagram, he watched it, and he's usually super cynical. So I was surprised that he actually liked it as much as he did. And he said something, and I thought we've kind of talked about this before, but I thought he put it so perfectly with this, because he was like, it's just sweet. Like, it's cute, and it's sweet, and it's great. He says, but then they did that thing that K-drama thinks they need to do. And I love the line that he said. He was like, it's pure candy floss that got decorated with blood and bits of broken glass.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it. That's exactly it, right?
Yeah.
You know, we'll hear people who are saying, like, oh, you need to, like, but you need conflict. And it's like, but that doesn't have to be the conflict. Right?
It doesn't have to be that level of conflict.
Doesn't need to be the conflict.
Right? And it's like,
there's plenty of material there without having to resort to horrible crimes.
I really liked that way of putting it, because I think that's the thing. I can enjoy cotton candy. Is it tiramisu? No, it's just cotton candy. But, like, either thing, if you throw broken glass into it, it's not fun anymore.
I agree with you there.
Especially if your tooth isn't set for that. Like,
yeah, I just really liked that he said that. So, and the way he put that. But I got through it. Finished it, and it was cute. I mean, it was super cute. All the little side couples were cute. Poor, sad office manager man. That was.
Oh, I just wanted him.
So
broke my
upset,
heart.
guys. Like,
I just wanted him to be
I'm not
happy.
totally pleased.
I just wanted him to be happy. Is that such a crime?
No.
At least give
Right.
a hint at the end or something. What the crap? Like, I was
Like,
upset.
give
Yeah, like, he
Give it
turns
to
around
both.
and sees another girl or someone. You know, just give me something.
Anything. Yeesh.
Something.
It's candy floss. You gotta stick with the candy floss. Don't randomly give cute little endearing poet dude no happy ending for no reason. Like,
No reason.
there's no reason. But
Her reasoning, I thought, was good. I thought it was.
Yeah.
Was realistic.
I get it.
Again, it's
I'm
like
not
the
happy
stalker.
about it, but I get
It's
it.
realism that you're needlessly throwing into my sap. Like,
We didn't
I don't
need
need
that.
the realism. Just
We
give me the
neither
happy ending.
needed nor wanted this in our lives.
Exactly.
We
I
don't.
would have been happier with the two lawyers, like, breaking up and being like, nah, this isn't actually working for us, than and have the office manager happy, because that still would have felt realistic, but, like, cuter somehow.
Mhm.
Like,
because they would have made it funny, like, ha ha, oh well.
It sort of remind. They should have, like, with them, how it would have worked is, I don't. This is dating me a little, but have any of you ever seen the movie Can't Hardly Wait?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, at the end, like, Seth Green and the girl with the short hair, it's like, they broke up 10 minutes after this, but then got back together, like,
Yeah.
it's like, just like a stupid ending like that, like,
Yeah.
just sort of in subtitles at the end, like, they broke up 6 times since then, but are still somehow together. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
cute, but the office manager, he was just,
He was so adorable.
He was so sweet. With his
we just wanted.
romantic heart. He deserved romance.
He was my favorite character, so I
No.
was hacked.
It was sad. I started watching Bangkok I don't know. It's either Bangkok Rack Stories or Bangkok Love Stories. It depends. It's on Netflix, and I think they've got it as Bangkok Love Stories on Netflix, but it's Bangkok Rack Stories in Thailand. I don't know. But Innocence is the whatever chapter that I started watching. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, good, eh?
Thai stuff needs to get kind of binge watched for me, but yeah, like it's really good. I like the one actor, 10. I've seen in a few things and like follow him on Instagram and stuff, and he's actually really good in this. I'm really enjoying him in this. He's got a lot more depth to his character than you usually get to see him, and the little puppies in it, like there's 2 puppies in the other side stories that are absolutely adorable as well, and yeah, it's just kind of cute and fun, but it's got a little bit more serious stuff to it as well, and I like it. It's not like groundbreaking, life-changing drama, but it's good. So I like that. And still watching Hazardous Wife, but I didn't watch it this week because my sister and I didn't get together, so I'm kind of missed, and I really want to go watch more of it. But I'll be good and not watch it without her. Oh, and it started He Is Psychometric, but I haven't watched much of it, just like the first maybe episode or episode and a half. But it seems good, so maybe we'll stick with it. We'll see what else I try to pick up. And Mother of Mine, I started. So far, typical weekender. I like the characters mostly. There's a horrible, evil stepmother, mother-in-law.
Isn't there always?
There always is. And she's an absolute freaking nightmare. And the thing is, she knows she's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, she's literally, there's a scene where she is, like, golfing with her friends, and they're like, well, you can't treat your daughter like that. And she's like, daughter? Psh, what daughter? She's not my daughter. She's somebody else's daughter. And if I treat her like crap, her mother will take care of her just because she'll feel bad for her. So I never have to look after my grandkid, and I never have to cook for myself, and I never have to do nothing. The worse I treat my daughter-in-law, the better her mother treats her, and then I get all this good stuff. I reap all the benefits. And you're like, wow.
And all her friends are like, you're trash too. Like they they acknowledge how terrible she is.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, wow. And she literally tells her friends that her daughter-in-law's mother is her helper. Mm-hmm. I have a helper who makes my kimchi. I have a helper who cooks for me. She's telling people that and then she's like, no, not this woman. It's somebody else, like in front of her daughter-in-law. But her daughter-in-law is like, you're talking about my mom. You are telling people that my mom is your hired help. Like,
wow.
Yeah. And her husband sucks. So I'm like, I don't even know why you're putting up with this. Because, like, there's nothing about your husband that is telling me he's worth this level of pain.
But the husband is perfectly the son of that woman. It's perfectly written that you're like, that is what she produced.
Yeah.
Like, it works in that respect.
Never root for divorce in drama.
Listen, if you watch Drama Fantastic, you'd root for divorce in that one as well. Similar sort of like abuse the poor daughter-in-law for no real reason that you can tell. He's so useless. Like, her mom is leaving work early to pick up their kid from school, and he's at home. He's left work early, and he's at home in his underwear watching soccer.
Like, he can't do anything. He'd, like, actually die if, like, the parents and her were not there. Like, he literally cannot do anything for himself.
But I love the daughter, like, the middle daughter. I don't mind the daughter-in-law who's getting put upon at this time. I'm rooting for them all, so I'm in it for now anyway. We'll see if it sticks with more character stuff or if it starts going the Mac Jang kind of weekender way. I'd like it to stay more family drama, and I'm hoping for a day when the mother-in-law will get, like, punched in the face.
What's coming to her, as it were.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask. I didn't know, since I haven't really watched Weekenders, do they really put the karma in there as far as, like,
a lot of the times, yeah.
Sometimes.
It's just slower because there's so many episodes, so it's going to drag on a little bit more. or feel like
think
it's a longer.
Mother Strange, the mother-in-law, was really horrible too, but she wasn't like this level horrible. She was just really selfish and annoying, and she kind of grew over time, and things got kind of better. So, how about you, Jesse? Have you watched anything?
I actually watched a ton of stuff. I actually have to look at my drama list because I've been watching a ton of stuff. I don't really have time to. It just happened.
I shouldn't be, but I am. And
but I did. I finished Touch Your Heart, and which was I was like on episode 8, so that was like pretty spectacular that I finished Touch Your Heart.
Wow, yeah.
It was a super easy binge too, and it's just a nice show. Like, yeah, it has like the craziness of the lawyer story, but like all in all, it's just like an easy, just kind of chill. And sometimes, like, when I would do stuff, like I would do it during those scenes too, so it kind of helped get through those episodes. And I thought Yuan was fantastic in the show. I just really liked watching her develop that character, so that was cool. I finished Pretty Proofreader, which was also really great, and I love it, and I highly recommend it. It's just a really great, like, slice of life office drama. It focuses more on the relationships between all the people that work in the office and like them with their writers, as opposed to a romantic angle. So it was really nice. It's also only like 10 episodes, so
nice.
So
it was an easy watch, but it's an easy watch just because it was super enjoyable. I am completely caught up with Mother of Mine. I really enjoy it. So I watched all 8 that's out. Just before we started recording, I watched 2 episodes of Possessed, which I love.
Yeah.
Like,
good.
Loving. I
How
kind of figured
scary is it?
I don't think you guys would like it.
Yeah, it's not like it's scary,
it's scary, but it's
startling.
Gruesome.
Yeah.
Like, it's high level, like, if you don't like crime and like death. There's a lot of death.
As I was saying, you can definitely tell it's made by OCN. Let's just
High body count. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh yeah.
There's some body count.
Yeah, there's
it's actually more crime than it is the ghost supernatural, but it's got the supernatural like in it, and that's where you're gonna get me. My favorite show of all time is The X-Files, so if you're gonna give me crime and a supernatural, like I'm there. I love it.
I don't like really gruesome or like super scary. So
yeah, it's not super scary in that. It's super scary in there is a serial killer. Yeah. So like that's why I would say like you guys probably wouldn't like it, just because you enjoy to watch.
Unlike many of the rom-coms we watch, it makes sense for there to be a super serial killer running around in the show.
Serial killer in a crime show.
Sure.
What?
Yeah. I mean, you can judge how you're gonna hate it based on like the first 10 minutes of the
faux show.
Like if you can't handle what happens in that first 10 minutes, then this is not your show.
You're bad time.
I like assuming based on what you have told me that you liked and like how you feel about things, I wouldn't put you guys in the like liking category, but who knows, maybe. Like it definitely
really well done.
Yeah, it's really well done. They're like the 2 leads are really great together. They play off each other really nice.
Chemistry is really
and
nice.
I like the dialogue. I wanted to watch more, but we stopped to record. I had to stop to record.
Mine is still on pause on Netflix on my TV. So
yeah,
when we're done here, I'm returning.
It's still going on right now. Like I don't think it's.
Yeah, they only have up till episode 9 as of the Wednesday, which we are recording this on.
Yeah, but Netflix dropped all of those, so you can do it right now if you have Netflix. Also,
weird way to do it. Like
what?
What a weird way. Like they must not have been planning to or something and got enough
would assume
feedback about it that they decided, okay, well, I guess we'll.
I would probably say there was like I would say there was probably like a hold up to that for when they could actually like start showing it, trying to catch up to, you know.
I don't know.
Who knows?
It's cool,
we don't
it's there.
Netflix, so we don't know.
I'm fine with it being there. Also in crime dramas, I watched the first couple episodes of Confession, Jun Ho's new show, which is also it's good. He's really good.
Excellent.
And him and the other actor who plays the cop, who I don't know his name. He's really popular. He's
a good actor. Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, he was just the priest role in A Smile Has Left Your Eyes. So he's actually it's the psychiatrist. Smile Has Left Your Eyes is a Romeo and Juliet story. But they play off of each other really nicely. But it's pretty dark too. Like I would say it's like Possessed, but no paranormal and none of the comedy that Possessed has.
Yeah, Possessed has some nice comedy in it.
Jun-Ho's a lawyer, and he's a cop on this case, and I can't really tell much because it kind of spoils things, but I am really enjoying it. It's definitely something that I probably won't binge, so I'm going to try to keep up with, just because it's pretty heavy. Oh, I watched the first episode of Kill It.
How was that?
A lot of murder shows.
Yeah, they're all coming out this right now, aren't they?
I like it. Like, I think it's good. I don't know that I have the want to continue with everything that I have been watching, just because I like crime shows because I like the kind of puzzle piecing, kind of development of that and the mystery of that. Kill It does have that, but it's kind of more assassin killing people, very action based, as opposed to what I generally go through to in that kind of genre. Maybe I'll pick it up later too. It might be just because I have so many shows that I'm now liking, so I don't really have time to watch that much stuff. But it was okay. Oh, and then I randomly started a new J-drama because I really love J-dramas. I just really love that so much, and I'm done with Pretty Proofreaders. So it's called Holiday Love. It's in a space where I don't know if I like it, but I don't know what it's doing, so I have to watch it because I'm intrigued by the storyline.
Okay.
Because it's doing that thing, but I do like that J-dramas do, where you're like, I don't know if this is supposed to be a thriller or it's just supposed to be heightened. Things are just bad, but it's not murder or paranormal. And so I'm in this weird area where I don't know what's going on. I don't know the storyline, and everybody's weird kind of, and there's creepy music, but
you should come up with a term for that.
There must be a term for it already. But yeah, about infidelity, but also there could be something else. I don't know. It's got me intrigued, and it's a J-drama, so it's only 10 episodes, so
you only have to be confused for so long.
Yeah.
Before things will all start to be clear.
And then it'll be done, and then I'll be like, okay.
That was the genre. Interesting.
Because where you watch the entire thing, you're like, okay, I really like that show, but you didn't know what you were supposed to be thinking the entire time. Oh yeah, and then also technically, I watched almost all of the 3 seasons of To Anyone TV for last week's episode, so that is a significant amount of time. It's probably not a full drama length because they're kind of shorter, but still it's there. And that's
that was something. You did.
Yeah,
you did
that's what I watched.
Nice.
Yeah.
For me, I've also been watching Possessed. I love it. I think it's exactly what I'm sort of looking for in a TV show, so it all works out quite nicely for me. But I do agree that the two of y'all probably wouldn't love it quite as much as Jesse and I are. Other than that, I have really not been watching too much. I've been working on a big super secret project. So that's what I've been up to. So I've been really busy, but I always keep up with my same sort of, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Variety shows?
Variety shows. Thank you. So, My Little Old Boy, Running Man, and all that goodness. So that's basically, all that's been on my docket, except for the thing that we watched for later to discuss.
Yeah, that too.
That too. I feel like there's something else. Oh, and I've been keeping up with Golden Eyes. I'm still in it to win it. Guys, this show has devolved into exactly what we wanted, which is basically
I'm excited.
just they wandering around appraising stuff in various locations. He becomes an expert in
everything.
No, in gambling stones, which is buying rocks and then cutting them open to see if they have jade in them. Oh, he's making splashes in the stone market now. It's so stupid. I love it.
I love it. Oh,
I wanted to take off some of the shows that I was watching before I returned to that, because I've officially sidelined W because I really want to watch Golden Eyes more.
Oh, guys, mwah, like this is the show that I just didn't know that I wanted in my life up until now. Like it's so slow paced. Like I don't know how well it's doing ratings wise, but it's rated 100% in my heart. So
awesome. I definitely have to get back to it.
Like I'm like way behind. It's like up to like episode 40 or something now, or even more than that at this point, and I'm on like episode 23 or something. But like I'm still trucking.
I'm on 7. So
I'm still on like 2.
I'm with you.
I was like, I knew there was something I was watching. Like, what was it that has besides variety shows? And that was it. I'm trying to think. And I finished Touch Your Heart again. Very fluffy, all the same. We already talked. And then I'm really excited for Her Private Life to start.
Mm-hmm.
Because not that I think like the story is particularly transformative, but we talked this show into existence, guys.
What?
Remember? We discussed how we just wish that this guy would be cast as
a rom-com
romantic lead, and it happened. And not only did he get cast as a romantic lead, he got cast with the queen of rom-coms. I am so excited. And new casting news, we're hoping it's a romance of some sort. Shinsun Rock's coming out with as a lead.
Yes.
I just saw today that the actress who got cast has like been out for a while, and this is her like return to drama land.
I just like hope that it's not depressing. I just want to see him smooching up on some ladies and being a sweet little weirdo. That's all I want.
Is it the same? Is it the Waikiki girl? Because I know she
No.
was
That there's been development since then. Like there was another woman.
Oh, okay. Cha Ye-ryun is listed. I don't know. Like her name doesn't sound familiar at all, but she looks like age appropriate, like she's an adult.
She's not 12.
It's very exciting.
She's an adult.
Oh,
yeah, she's like 85. So.
She's 85 years old.
Yeah, she's 85 years old. No, I was first going to say that she was just a year younger than me, but then I was like, well, that means nothing to anyone who's listening. She's like, sure. She's married to Misaeng Wook.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, so she was...
Oh, she's done a good amount of movies.
Yeah, she's just hasn't done anything since 2015.
Yeah,
so
it looks like
because she had a baby or something.
Yeah, she had a kid. Yeah, last year.
So this is her return. She was in Glamorous Temptation and Golden Rainbow, which I tried to watch Golden Rainbow when I first started watching dramas because I saw Yui was in it. And she was in the first drama I watched, and I had no idea about Weekenders at that point. And I was like, what is going on? Why is this taking so long? And this is so boring and it's so stupid. And then I was like, forget this crap. And now I understand. It was a Weekender. Things take a while.
There you go.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything she's in, but it kind of feels like maybe she could hold her own with him. Like some of the other people they were suggesting, I was like, I don't dislike them, but I'm sure they can hold their own with him. So
he's just so good.
Yeah.
So maybe that could be our if we ever got a Patreon, that could be our one of our little perks. We'll make something come into existence for you.
Yeah.
We'll just say it on the podcast.
Say that money and we'll make it happen.
I mean,
Certified Nuna's Summoning Circle.
So if you want that, please email us.
Yes.
Certified Nuna's. Certified Summoning Circle.
gmail.com.
Certified Summoning Circle at send all payments via PayPal, and we will help you out.
You'll put more effort the more money you give.
Exactly. Are we bad people?
No.
I mean, I guess we're all kind of bad. All of us.
In our own
We're funny
way.
bad.
We're entertaining.
Exactly.
We do say
exactly.
I mean, people are still listening to us, so.
Why? We don't know, but thank you. We appreciate it.
We do.
We legitimately appreciate all of our listeners.
All 6 of you.
You 6 are the best people ever.
There's 6 of you downloading.
So I watched stuff.
Oh, good. Yes. Sorry, we got distracted. Go.
I'm watching Waikiki. I think I'm a little bit behind this week. I never saw. I haven't seen the first season yet, so I'm watching the second season. It's a little bit more. I'm not laughing out loud all the time when it's being funny. That's okay. I have fun when I'm watching it. It's so slapsticky that has to hit me a certain way sometimes.
It has a lot to live up to. Like, the first season was legit laugh out loud funny. Like, I remember laughing quite often watching
But I also remember being super embarrassed a lot.
A lot of it is cringe humor.
That's kind of the thing. There's a little bit of or they're kind of such losers that you like feel bad. So
the thing that always got me about the first season was like most of the humor was around like things getting out of control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where it was like they didn't mean for any of this to happen, but it all just spiraled so quickly that they can't stop it now, which then is almost painful to watch at points.
To me, it sounds like the same vibe then.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So,
yeah. But in a funny way. Is there a cute baby this season? No?
Not so far, but I'm not super far.
Cute baby, man.
Cute baby. Oh, man.
I saw behind the scenes that Cute Baby and the mom were making a cameo.
Oh,
like the actor
cool.
played the mom. So they were going to be, I don't know, coming back to like pick up their clothes or something. I don't know, but they were going to be in it.
That baby was hella cute.
Super cute. She has her own freaking Instagram. Her mom's like making bank off of how cute this kid is.
Well.
And, okay, the kid's dad is super cute too. Yeah. Mom hit the jackpot. I'm just saying, she's got a cute dad and a cute kid, and the little brother's cute too. But like,
it's cute family entirely.
He's like 7 or something, you know. He's starting to age out of the cute.
He's about to age out of cute.
So I'm also watching.
Scott, sorry, sweetie.
Okay. He is psychometric, which I'm liking. I really don't think this gives anything away. There's a time jump, so not a huge one, but no longer in high school, which I appreciate. I like aging up a little bit for that. So, you know, crime stuff, I would just rather be a little bit older.
Well, that like first episode when he's like, they're giving you like a shower scene, and I'm like, you know what? I know the kid's not actually in high school, but I don't need fan service shower scenes of like
high school kid.
Yeah, I can't play a high schooler.
Yeah.
I'm not into this. Like, this makes me feel a little like a dirty old lady.
Little bit. I know he's in his 20s, but stop.
Let's wait until he's in his 20s as a character. That would be, we'd appreciate it.
Thank you. Exactly.
I'm watching I Hate You, Juliet. They have really short episodes of that. They're like 20 minutes a pop.
Oh, cool.
And it's a currently airing thing, I think. It has, how am I spacing on his name? FT Island lead guy. Yeah. So he's pretty funny in that there's an accident and he can sometimes hear what she's thinking. Not that they necessarily even know each other at first, so it's kind of like he thinks he's hearing voices from, like, he thinks he's going nuts, so it's pretty funny. I picked up A Star on the Road, which
I keep meaning to start that. Is it good?
Watch it.
I love Sung Hoon so much.
I know.
It is darker than I thought.
Like in an amusing
kind of dark humor.
Okay.
There's a little bit of feel good to die flair to it, to me. Like, you think you kind of solved this, and then, I don't know. It's funny, but like, life is still portrayed as kind of hard, even if you are a celebrity, or even if you're a struggling person for money. I don't know. It's pretty funny though. I recommend it. Vicky doesn't have it all subbed yet. I mean, maybe by the time this comes out, but they still had a few episodes last I looked that they needed to fit. I think it's only 10 episodes, but they're hour-long episodes, so they're longer.
Okay.
But it's a good pick-me-up show, in my opinion. It's pretty funny. Well, their chemistry is funny chemistry together. Like, they play off of each other well.
Sometimes he's good with chemistry. He's good with that. Like,
and it's the girl. and I know you guys didn't watch Radiant, but there was a actress in Radiant. She played one of the best friends of the main girl. And when I watched Radiant, I thought, I really like this actress. Like, she is, even in that show, she is bubbly, but like strong bubbly. It's like she would kind of tough girl bubbly. She would ride her own scooter and be the delivery girl and take care of herself. Like, plucky, but not weird about it. Like, she would take care of herself.
It's
she could
the
fight.
best friend because of This Is My First Life. The one that is dating, what's his face, that just went into the military.
Kim Min-suk.
So even in this show, her character is tough. Like, she can take care of herself, and I like that. I like those types of female characters. We don't get a ton of them. We get some of them these days, which I appreciate. I watched the first episode of Kill It. I agree with everything Jesse says. I think what I want to highlight about it, I don't remember where I read kind of the tagline of a vet assassin. I assumed they were meaning like a veteran, as in like someone who's been in the military. No, it is a veterinarian.
Like that's where you're wrong, champ.
Right. So I just want to clarify that for anyone that was wondering. As far as for the first episode, saying veterinarian assassin maybe sounds slightly more charming than it came off as, in my opinion. Like, it's not like all puppy dogs and kitty cats. Let me just put it that way. I liked it. For me, I like action-y more than the crime side of things. So, like, I'll definitely see it to the end at some point. Since I'm watching so many things, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stick with it timely-wise, but I'll watch the whole thing at some point.
Yeah.
There's
also a lot of English in the very first episode, so.
Yeah. From Dots, Descendants of the Sun, what's his face? McGinnis.
Yeah. I know who you mean. He was in Man to Man too. He's like the white guy who shows up. Yeah. You know, the white guy who shows up in all these shows.
He did a good job.
It's not weird. Like, it
wasn't awkward. It
with
flowed.
Thick accents speaking English, but not like staticky thinking about what they're doing and, you know, normal.
It was very natural.
And kind of also tied into the, like, Russian aspect. Like, it kind of almost sounded like, what's his face, the kid, when he was speaking, he was almost coming more from a Russian accent than a Korean accent.
I heard that, too. That kid did a good job.
Oh, he's been great in everything I've seen.
Yeah. Super cute.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember he's been in lots of stuff. I know I want to watch My Fellow Citizens as soon as possible because that seems up my alley.
Yeah.
So I just haven't
gotten around to it yet.
Yeah.
There's so much right now.
Yeah. There are too many cute sounding rom-com type things, and I have to watch them
all at once? Why does everything hit you at once? And it's like you sit and you're like, ugh, there's nothing to watch.
And then suddenly there's just everything.
Especially with all these shows that, like, we couldn't get the subs for, and then we magically got the subs. But, like, they pushed it to magically get the subs at the same time as everyone else's. Because Jisoo's drama is coming.
Yeah.
IU's movie is this Friday. Like, there's just a lot of stuff happening.
I'm not going to say too much because I do appreciate it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I like having, and also it is helping me balance out, or maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just in the rom-com mood, so it's helping me with that. But I don't know. I like choices. So mood-wise, you can pick. I'm not feeling this, I'm feeling it. So I mean, it's nice that you're not stuck with 3 things that you're not in the mood for. So
yeah.
I mean, if all there was Jesse's, you know, like killer stuff, Sky and I might be up a creek a little bit. Like,
or even Kill It, which I want to watch. I'm not always in the mood for Kill It.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it's good to have, even he is psychometric. Like, I have to be in the mood for he is psychometric. It's not just cute fluffy. There's, not that it's really intense, but there's enough there that, like, you have to be in the mood for it.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna bring us to the topic at hand with Incomplete Life, or Misaeng. So it's tough enough that I'm not saying you can't binge it. You could if you're in, like, the correct mindset for it. If you are ready for kind of an emotional office struggle, you know, you could power through that because you're probably engaged enough to do so.
Yeah.
But for me, usually in day-to-day life, I can't handle like 5 episodes of like, oh, I'm gonna power through office life. Like you kind of have to
My
it out.
thing is, I don't like seeing people struggle. So like
in a
struggle,
realistic struggle.
in a realistic sort of way. You know, it's not that I don't like. I just can't watch a lot of it at once.
Right.
Like I already know how shitty life can be. Like I don't need to be totally reminded for 18 episodes in a row.
Yeah, it's definitely that realism where you're gonna be super empathetic no matter like where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And like I think especially if you're having issues at your job, this would not be the show that you could watch and be happy about. Like, and it's such a well done show, but
yeah, it's really good. It's just sort of it's hard to watch in the sense that it feels very real and very unfortunate. You feel real bad.
If you're watching shows for escapism, that's kind of the conflict there. Like you're not having the sweet escapism or the really super fun escapism fix that you're maybe looking for. It's like, oh, this feels so real.
It feels like one that I would have liked to have watched while it was airing.
Yeah, it's one that like if you're just watching 2 episodes a week, it would be perfect.
And that might be kind of the rate that I would recommend someone.
Yeah,
that's kind of the rate I've been watching it at.
Yeah, I watched 3 episodes and I was like exhausted after watching 3 episodes. I was like, oh jeez, this poor kid.
And also, to me, it's one of those shows, not that there are cliffhangers at the end, but like I actually find myself kind of like, well, I'm going to kind of stop in the middle of the episode. Like kind of when the conflict kind of tapers off a bit or whatever, it's like, oh, I'm going to stop it there. I'm not going to trust it to end to where I'm not going to want to start the next one.
So, because I watched the first episode and it was like not super late at night, but kind of getting to bedtime. And I was so like, I was like crying. I was like so depressed and upset for this kid. I was like, I have to watch the next episode because I have to see
if things
that
get better for him.
It gets a little better here. I only watched about 10 minutes, but it was enough to kind of be like, oh, it's not getting really better anytime
I can step back.
Okay, I'm going to have to go to bed depressed because that's going to have to work.
Thanks, show. So, like, before we get too far into how sad this kid's unfortunate life makes us, let's do something fun to sort of remember the good times. Before delving into the bad times.
When you were young and you played games at school.
Today we're doing a kdrama Madlib we found on a blog called Living in Loganland. It's livinginloganland.com, kdrama Madlib game. So I'm gonna run it, and the ladies here are going to give me some words. So first word is an adjective.
Pretty.
That's what I was thinking too, but I was trying to think of something.
I was trying to think of something a little better, but then there was like just an awkward silence, so I was like, I'll just.
I kind of thought purple, so we were going in a P route.
Well, I'm sure there'll be another one that comes up, so, you know. A noun.
Cup.
Truck. Truck of Doom. Specifically, Truck of Doom.
Yeah, Truck of Doom.
Maybe that's the type of things we should fill this with. Here we go. We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, we're figuring this out.
All right.
It's been a long time.
Another adjective.
Precious. I was thinking this because I kept calling Im Siwan a precious little bean.
All right. An occupation.
Let's say contract worker, since that's...
Perfect. Office worker.
Not professional Go player. What? Oh,
well.
Failed professional Go player.
A number.
19.
Nice reasoning there.
I don't know. She's in a number.
I was going to go like 127 or something. Just like...
Okay. A type of K-drama character.
Second lead.
Yeah. Okay. A noun.
Printer.
Ooh.
Or copier. Copy machine. Whatever you want to call that.
Okay.
He goes to the copy machine a lot.
It's been a long time since I played Madlibs, and I'm having to, like, stop myself from just saying, like, inappropriate things like you would do in, like, a game of Madlibs with your bros.
Well, okay. Another adjective.
Oh, a lot of adjectives.
Depressing, since you guys were saying it's depressing.
Okay. All right. A type of K-drama character.
Evil mother-in-law.
Yes.
The classic.
Classic. A verb.
Dancing.
Dancing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard, yeah.
All right.
With the
A
mother.
noun.
Noun.
Rooftop.
Oh, good one.
Good one.
And I know it's not like place, but hey, noun.
Hey, rooftop works.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Especially drama.
Another type of K-drama character.
Oh, jeez.
Scheming boss.
The what boss? Oh,
Scheming?
Scheming boss.
That's kind of a hard word to say on scheming.
Scheming.
Also possible on just old and going deaf. I don't know.
Well, like, you are over 30, and we all know what happened to
Yeah, we're all ruined.
K-pop fans when they hit 30. We just shrivel up into
Yeah.
skeletons.
Another noun.
Marshmallow.
Oh, no, you should have squid.
Squid. Oh, change to squid. Change to squid. I take it back.
There's another one coming up. We'll make
Okay.
the next one good. Adjective.
Why are we so bad at this, guys?
Well,
I think we
Jesse
just
said
were trying to
purple
find, like, a
before.
witty
You want
thing.
Purple.
Purple.
You want purple.
Purple.
now?
Let's get a color in there.
Okay. And so then the next one is
Squid.
squid or octopus? What? Squid.
Whatever they were fishing for.
Oh, that was
Oh
brutal.
yeah. Looking for a
And
little
an emotion.
determined.
Last one being very optimistic.
That's me. I
Well,
always try
light
to
note.
turn it around.
All right. So here we go with a story called Happily Ever After by
Uh-oh.
Living in Loganland. The title of this drama is called My
Already.
Give it.
The drama
Give it.
is called My Pretty Truck of Doom.
Oh, go on.
Yes.
Go on.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. The precious contract worker, Lee Ji-ah, finds herself in trouble when her good-natured but gambling addict father skips town when he is unable to pay back the $19 he won. 19 won he borrowed from.
That's like a cent. That's not even 2 cents.
He's just really hard on it.
Hold on.
Oh, okay. So then he's unable to pay back the 19 won he borrowed from the most notorious second lead in the
Which we all know is Jisoo, right?
Jisoo, the like
The notorious second lead.
oh, the notorious second lead. So now they've come after her for the money. She's forced to quit a career that she loves and get a job at the copy machine. At the copy machine company in order to make more money. And there she meets Kim Min Ki, a depressing evil mother-in-law.
We've taken this on a new direction, I see. Interesting.
You do not start off on the right foot. When, due to a misunderstanding, Kim Min Ki accuses her of dancing.
We just changed it footloose.
Accused her of dancing on her rooftop. And
As
she
one
is angry that the
does.
mother-in-law would accuse her of such a horrific thing. So Gia and her scheming boss collect marshmallows to prove her innocence. Realizes the truth. Min Ki feels guilty for accusing an innocent person and also grows to admire how purple Ji-ha is. After spending more time with Min Ki, Ji-ha has also realized that this mother-in-law isn't as cold as she appears, but actually has a very warm squid.
A warm what? Squid? Oh, Jesus.
She has a very warm squid. The feelings between the two grow, and eventually, Min Ki, the mother-in-law, confesses her determinedness for Gia, and she tells the mother-in-law that she feels the same way. They get married and have lots of kids and live happily ever after.
Perfect. Like, to be honest, I'd watch that.
Oh, okay. So
But But the question is, would you watch it as it was airing, or would you binge it?
I think I have to binge that one.
Yeah. Because if you had a week between episodes to think about it,
yeah, like maybe I don't want to continue this.
Yeah, you had to sort of fool yourself into watching this one.
Like a lot of Thai dramas, I find that with Thai dramas, like I have to binge them because if I give myself a week in between, I start overanalyzing and I'm like, wait a minute, that didn't make sense, and that is not working, and
like a lot of things don't make sense in Thai dramas. Like you just gotta sort of let them do their thing. Oh my goodness.
That was I cried, guys.
Yeah.
That's good.
So what genre do we think this could be? Is it gonna be like a slice of life or is it a rom-com? It can go any way with just like that description. Or Segook.
A Segook. I feel like the one thing that we know it's not is a Segook, but what with the job at the company?
You don't know.
Company, so I guess
it could be a Segook and still have like copier and
could it be a mahjong, like
a mahjong? Yeah, probably.
Or a weekender.
Sorry, there's an evil mother-in-law. Oh
man,
beautiful.
Okay, back to Misaeng.
You said that? It sounded like you said, now back to me.
Well, that's what I had to be like earlier. But I'm watching. I'm halfway through episode 5, so I'm further.
You like it?
And I've been trying to drag you, like, hey, watch it. Let's watch it. I love it. But yeah, I can only handle, a couple episodes at a time. I find myself wanting to watch kind of more than one, probably about a movie's worth, and then I'm set. But yeah, I do have to let like one of their projects or a conflict resolve a little, like give me a little breather. Like I'm pausing it there, and so I can go watch something else or go on with life.
I definitely am gonna keep watching it. It's definitely good. Like I said, like I was super depressed watching it. Like I was just really this poor kid. Like it just that first episode, you're like,
wow.
And like, okay, I gotta watch a bit of the next episode, see, and it like doesn't get better. Like just that whole thing at the beginning of the second episode, it's like he's doing stuff wrong. And the one guy is like saying to the boss, well, are you going to tell him why it's wrong? No, it doesn't even matter. We're not even going to bother trying to train this kid because he's not going to stick around and he's useless. So why would I tell him he's doing wrong? I'm just going to be mad at him for doing it wrong. And you're like,
none of this makes sense.
Like,
you're just like ruining your company. Like,
but like on a personal note, like I've lived that a time or two. So though the struggle killed me, it's like, I felt that.
It's so realistic. Like, in some ways, but what's weird is that the way it starts is so completely unrealistic. And I was like, what is this? It starts like some scene out of, like, Descendants of the Sun or something, right?
It's going to come back somehow.
And chasing this guy down in the street. And you're like...
It was the first K-drama to have some filming done in Jordan. By the way, like I watched some back stuff, and they really went there.
You mentioned that my brain had actually forgotten that's how it started because I was so mired in this poor kid's misery. I forgot that, like, wait a minute, he's gonna become awesome at some point. We just have to stick with it.
Yeah,
it's so confusing. Like, because the opening thing is like they're chasing after some guy because he has something, and they've tracked him down in a foreign country. And I mean, the kid speaks English perfectly, and he's chatting with people in English, and he's chasing people down. He's getting hit by a car and popping up and running after it. He's a freaking superstar. What is this? And then next thing you know, he's like scrubbing bathrooms in a like sauna, and you're like, what?
You're like, hold the phone. Oh, yeah. What?
And what I kept wondering was, like, part of me for a while was wondering, like, is that he went into the army or something, and he was like a superstar in the army, but like, finished out his stint in the army and can't make real life work? Like, is that the story they're telling us? But like, that doesn't appear to be the story that they're telling us.
No.
So I'm still not entirely clear what was going on with that opening sequence, but
it didn't have the year on it. I thought they made it.
Maybe I missed that.
Yeah, I think they had the year of like it's in the future still for him.
Is it? Okay.
As far as years. That's not a spoiler. That was like...
Yeah, like there's a backwards time
We
jump.
definitely have not gotten that far in episode 5. I can tell you that. We're not
It's just
there.
like, what is... Yeah, it's so different from, like, that opening 10 minutes is so different from what the rest of it is. That you're
But
like,
it was fun, man. He did a
super
good
fun.
job.
Yeah.
Action-packed. It was very exciting. And then all of a sudden, rubbing saunas.
All of a sudden, you're in the horrible reality of real life existence, and you're like, oh god, this kid, where did it all go wrong for this point? Well, like his whole life just sort of went wrong from the beginning, didn't it?
I love the part when he's like talking about how everything went wrong for him, and how he can't blame it on other people. Like, he chooses to like internalize it and put it all on himself. I didn't work hard enough. It's my fault, because to blame it on his parents is like worse.
To blame it on like his dad dying is not good.
And his mom getting sick. Like, he doesn't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy who like blames it on my dad died and my mom needed me to look after her. That's just what you do. That's who you are.
And didn't he even kind of say, kind of from a positive standpoint, like, if he sees it as his own failure to work hard enough, that means it's not like his fate or something. It's not as if, at least he's trying to take ownership of it.
Yeah, he has some control on it.
As far as what I've read, like, that's pretty much the ongoing theme of the show, as far as how people handle their life.
I think what was interesting about the show is the tone is not bad, but it's hard to grasp where you're supposed to be, because it's just so different from any other show. It's almost like kind of got the tone of like a British show.
Yeah.
Like, because also every site has a different description on like what it's supposed to be, because some say it's a comedy, some say it's not, and then some it's a slice of
K-drama though. Like, I have noticed that the way that K-dramas are classified is often incredibly misleading. So what you're about
like with like something like Possessed, where you're like, okay, I see where the comedy part is coming, because there's an actual comedy. Like, I didn't know where I was supposed to be, and it wasn't it was written bad standpoint. It was just because your brain is trained on like what the tone should be on a K-drama, or even like a J-drama or like another Asian drama, that like it kind of almost was like not that, or at least not that I've seen.
Well, like the sort of the opening scene in The Office with the girl and how gorgeous she looks, and the guys all watching her and then saying to her like, are you sure you're okay? And she goes into like this pitch, and she's basically like putting on a little like striptease type show for apparently the boss, and you're like, the heck is going on here? Like,
and then it's like,
is this supposed to be funny, or is this supposed to be like,
horrifying?
This is the kind of horrible company they work for, where she has to like go and let the boss feel her up and stuff, and you're like, and then it's a woman, and she's like, wow, these butt pads are really realistic.
It's the product, and she's like, just you're like, oh, okay. And then all the guys are like, okay, then we need to get out of that and you know, be respectful that she's a member of the company. You're like, oh, okay.
I will say, as far as comedy goes, there is a comedic character that shows up later on.
Okay.
Yes.
So he's not in the first hour and a half episode.
No, he is not. But he's kind of the worst, but also the best at the same time.
But
like that's
he is the comic relief by far.
Yeah.
It also doesn't use a lot of music or background music.
No.
So you hear a lot of like people on their keyboards clicking, or you hear a printer going, or you hear like kind of the hum of an actual office space. So that is also kind of jarring too, especially
like a nice realism to what you're watching.
It's like, especially if you've worked in that sort of place, which most of the people who were watching this originally had, and that's why it was so massively popular, is because everybody could relate to it in Korea. But like it adds this like realistic level where you're also engulfed in it because of the sounds, and so it's like you're actually just like standing in that room watching everything happen before you.
I think that what kind of got me, some parts of the show, and I'm sure it's going to continue like this, So it's one thing to think of like Western office culture, and it's another like Korean office culture. And I think one difference that I'm curious about is how late they work. Because it sure seems like they work until like 10 o'clock at night. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
And not just when they're pulling an all-nighter, but like often we're just working until 10 o'clock. It's like,
you're usually not allowed
insane.
to leave before your boss.
Mm-hmm.
So if your boss stays, you stay, and then you'll have to go to, the dinner after and have drinks.
Like when the interns are doing their project overnight, it's like, okay, whatever. Like that. Yeah. But it was more just the day in, day out. Wow, everyone's staying super late. This is kind of crazy. Whereas, Western, I'm not saying that we don't have some realms of that, probably if you're like stock trading or, but like middle class office worker stuff, that's not a common thing. Eventually,
it's also, different laws too, in terms of that potentially not being a thing that you can actually do here, like legally. Not to say that it doesn't happen, because it does.
Right.
And there's workarounds, and then like probably, like it could be that, I don't know, Korea, all the interns could be paid there, and like here they wouldn't be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd be just like doing it for college credit or something,
Yeah.
I don't want to get into
it. Is.
I don't want to get into it.
It's definitely a thing.
But like interns there, it's not like they're not in college. Like it's not like they're interns. It's like they're contract workers who are trying to get hired.
They're like juniors.
They're learning
apprentices.
how to do this job for this company in the hopes that they'll get a job at this company, not just
and also in Korea,
credit on their resume.
There's just, you have to do so much to get in. Like here you would send in a resume and stuff, but like in Korea you're going into mass cattle calls. It's like going to auditions. So, like every time they show a thing, I was like, oh, I've done that for acting, sure. Or you're just like, this is weird.
What I've also wondered about is, don't they also have specific testing at certain employment places?
Yeah.
So like that's another level.
Yeah. And I feel like there's something with college, like I might not be remembering this correctly, but kids study so hard to get into college because once you're in college, you can't change your path, your educational path. I think it's like once you get in, you have to know what you're going for, or you've lost all of that. Like you'd have to like re-go. Like, okay, I'm getting into the accounting department. It's not like, second year and you're like, well, maybe I really want to do like English lit. You can't do that.
I've definitely gotten that vibe as far as like your path is chosen. There's no one that's undecided that's in, whereas like I was undecided for 2 years when I was in college.
Yeah, and I think that's why
getting those basic things, and you can change all you want.
Yeah, and like high school dramas, you see that emphasis because they're forced to figure out those things before they get in, as opposed to like here where you could figure it out, because most of the time your first couple of years you're just doing, especially if you're liberal arts, you're doing everything, so like it doesn't even matter, because most of the time you're not even doing stuff for your major, you're just doing stuff for the general requirements.
It's kind of in this drama, when you think about all of that aspect of it, it makes it kind of understandable that like the guys that he's working with are being dicks to him, right? Because
absolutely.
They don't have to be as big a dicks as they're being, because they're pretty sucky. But like if you worked that hard and you studied that hard and you gave up so much to have this opportunity, and then you find out that some kid that never even went to high school just got in because somebody made a phone call.
Okay, here's my point. Okay, I feel like I missed something. Who made the phone call?
I feel like it's going to be revealed later.
I feel like I read who it was.
The mom made a phone call. The mom made it like she talked about. She made a phone call, and later in the elevator, the boss. Two of the bosses
the director hired him.
It's like the director hired him. The director said this guy is hired. So we don't know how he knows the director or what's going on there, but like the boss of the company knows the mom somehow. So that's how he got a job.
I feel like it's related back to Baduk. I feel like it's going to be revealed in some way.
Yeah.
Like some mentor.
He beat the director in Go at one time, and he was very impressed. And something like that.
Worked for the company and at like some Christmas party or something when he was 6, he like beat the director playing Go, and the director was like, wow, this kid's going places, and he didn't.
Well, that's
now
also the thing. Like, I think going and watching this is that if you don't know how to play that game, we're missing out on a lot, because I've read some to the point where I didn't want to spoil myself, but I know that the episodes and the way he acts and reacts to things are specifically game, like that you would react in that game. So there's like a level that like me not knowing how to play that game, but like he's using it to his advantage, and it's like continuing on through the entire series.
Yeah.
And so like the show even might be like even not just his character doing stuff that like relates to the game, the show itself might be related to the game. So like the way characters act are like translated into that game somehow. So I think it'd be interesting to like
learn
know
how to
that
play.
But like I can't search that sort of thing until I finish the show, because I don't want to spoil myself really, but I don't know.
It's kind of like if you were watching or reading, not Alice in Wonderland, but the Through the Looking Glass. If you know chess, there's a lot more going on in it.
Yeah.
And it's like that, right? Like if you know the game, you probably see things that we're not getting.
It's also such a huge game, like that, like everybody in Korea knows. So it's not like a thing that people wouldn't know watching it.
I mean, I agree that there's probably stuff, levels that we're missing out on. But as far as I've seen, some of the narration is pretty good about at least giving you a hint towards things.
Okay. Cool.
So like either a flashback to Go and specifically like where he learned something, and then he's using it, kind of like. So even though we don't quite know what's up, the narration really helps.
So it's like one of those things where like if you knew, you could like know it before.
That this is, back when I was learning how to do Go, I learned I needed to compartmentalize things. So now I'm going to file this stuff the way that I would have filed my Go stuff or whatever.
Yeah. Well, or it's like mentor said, boom, boom, boom. Well, and you can tell what he says next is like a take on it. And so it's just, and so I'm not saying we're not missing out on stuff, because we probably are, but I think probably since the show was so popular, and I'm sure they all have way more knowledge of Go than we do, but I still think it was plain speaking enough that it still appealed to people that maybe, didn't quite play it a ton.
Okay.
Not like competition level.
Well, like with the Alice in Wonderland thing, you can still enjoy Looking Glass if you've never played.
Yeah.
Right.
But you've got that like added little, once you like do know what's going on, you're like,
there's like
okay.
Maybe an extra layer.
Yeah.
Do you guys want me to tell you what the title means, or do you feel like that would be a spoiler? It's really not a spoiler. It's just they explain at the end of episode 4.
Yeah.
All it is so Misaeng, it's a Go phrase, and it does mean complete. No, so Misaeng is incomplete life. It's very direct, and when you're reading it with the subtitles, it's kind of long, so I'm not going to get all the words right. But it's when you are struggling to get a defensive position.
Oh, okay.
And so
that makes sense.
You're seeking to get complete life, or I don't remember what the other word was. Complete life. And so that's when you can kind of defend from any position. And so the boss guy, he's the one that talks about it, like out of the blue. Random Go phrase from that guy. And he's talking to the main guy character, and he's just pretty much said, we're all trying to get to a position where we can defend all the time, but we pretty much we all have an incomplete life. Like, we're all kind of struggling. But he was trying to kind of be hopeful, like a little bit of hopeful about that, but like he was just admitting like even he and everyone around them is always kind of jockeying for that.
Yeah, everyone struggles in their own way.
And that the fact that he used like Go terminology, and you could tell it was like blowing the kid's mind, because it's not like they were talking about Go, and of course he didn't even let on that was a thing to him.
Is it the same guy that like in the very beginning, he's the one who comes in on the red eye and he tries to get to the one guy, because he does know that he plays Go at that moment, because he
Yeah,
plays
yeah.
Go with the guy to stall
But he
him.
asks him and he's just sort of like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, like I know how to play.
I
Like,
know a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here,
Like, why
I
would
just
you be
spent
like,
some
this is my thing about this kid, though. Everyone's like, oh, like, why didn't you ever go to college? Why didn't you go to school? He could have just said, I was a semi-professional Go player.
Yes, nobody would have really batted an eye.
And no one would care. You know what I mean? Like, it would be like,
Yeah.
oh, that makes sense.
But when you
Like,
failed at it, like, is that a thing of their culture? Like, if you have failed at what you dedicated your life to, is it kind of like you just don't admit to that anymore?
I guess
Well,
so, but like also it's like, well, is it worse than just saying GED? Like,
is it worse
which
than
might be a cultural thing for us,
like,
because
yeah.
even though it's not bad, like it's not bad to have like even like no matter how gotten your degree, it is perceived as a bad thing here.
You know, like, but I feel like a lot of people in Korea, especially in like the entertainment industry, who debuted so young, have GEDs because since they debuted so young, they can't go to a regular school.
Really
so I don't think it's as like looked down upon, because it's I don't even know why it's looked down upon here. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like, listen, it's not like getting a high school diploma is incredible either. Like, calm down. It means the same thing. Like, jeez. But if it was me, I feel like it would be less embarrassing to be like, well, I was almost a professional Go player, but like my parents got sick and I had to leave, as versus being like, yeah, I just dropped out of school and did nothing for 6 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, one seems less bad than the other.
I think also the fact that he's not talking about his past with Go and being a professional player just ties into his personality, that he's not the type of person to express more than a direct thought. Like, he can't open up. So that's also kind of like stemming, like, so he's not saying it purposely because he wants to hide it. It's more of like, that's just not what he is. Because that scene where he's with the girl at the cafeteria and his responses are super short and quick, and she has that like mention, she's like, well, you're supposed to say this, and he's like, well, you asked me this, and that's just how I responded, didn't I? Like, it's very like
which
short.
not being jerky,
which does make sense for his character, because he wouldn't have socialized outside of the boundaries of playing this one game. Yeah. So, because he didn't go to school, he just played this game all day.
That different way of communicating, it definitely carries through later on too. Like, a presentation is involved, and you can tell the way he communicates is exactly what you said. Like, he has limitations because of the world that he was in. Mm-hmm. And I think he's very aware of it on some level, like, because he observes enough of everyone around him in the office that he's like, oh, all these people are like way different than me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like not necessarily in a good way, because like the characters that are presented as being the more social are kind of assholes. Like that one guy who's basically just harassing the girl, and then the other guy, the pervert character, who is very outgoing but weird and just off-putting. So it's like
Kang Daniel's character.
No. There's another guy.
He's probably the comic relief character that pops up.
Okay.
So I've watched the first 3 episodes. Though he has yet to do anything mean, I get a bad vibe from Kang Daniel's character. Like, he hasn't done anything bad, and he hasn't done anything terrible, but there's
something weird. There's just little
trusting him, because
and I don't know what it is, like, because it's not clear. Like, in the first episode, it's kind of like he seems to be really nice. Like, he's not super, he's not like, hey dude, be my partner and stuff like that. He's like, sort of like, he's looking out for him, and he's trying to be nice.
He's doing like the bare minimum to be a decent
he's a decent human being, but also still, he's like, this is unfair that you're here when I'm here, like, struggling.
Like, he works so hard, and so there's like, I feel like that sort of resentment is going to.
It's hard to say because you don't know if it's just him, his acting that's doing that. Like, it's just
he's
like
a really good actor. I really like him. Like, everything I've seen him in, he's been excellent. So I'm like expecting. See, now, since this is on not video, but we're on video, what the listener can't see is Sky's knowing face up in the oh, I don't know,
maybe not close.
No.
No, I was just waiting to talk. There's nothing. It's just his character continues on. Like, that's what's so good about this show. The characters are consistent. Character you see in episode 1 of any of them, it continues, even if they maybe grow or learn or whatever hint you got in the beginning. It's not as if they're going to explain it 3 episodes later fully, but
that's just not how life works.
Whatever vibe you
That's
got,
true.
you're still going to be getting that vibe. Like, it's
Right.
not going to shake off, and that's it's just really well done of all the characters, and it's not oh, we're so deep in all these characters all of a sudden. It's very gradual, and it's not like you're never going to just be like, hang on, let's do this huge backstory of this random character.
Yeah,
like,
and I kind of like that because it's sort of like you work in this office as well. So when you're in the office, like when you get started a new job, you don't learn everyone's life story the first week you're there. Like, you sort of become friendly and learn things over time. And so I kind of like that that's sort of how the show is progressing, that you are you are the office. Yeah. The character of the office is you. You're watching just people and learning things.
Yeah.
And then the only backstory you get is the Im Siwan's character. Like, and even what he knows is pretty much what we know maybe a little bit more than him, but not much more than him.
Yeah.
And when pretty much the only way we learn something is he overhears it. And they carry that through. So it's like those limitations are what make it feel so realistic. Because it's not like, we know exactly what the executives think. No, we have no clue. We're not going to ever know.
Because you never would.
I think with Kang Han-Yul's character, like, the vibe that I get is not even so much he's sinister, but as much as just doesn't care. Like, it doesn't take anything away from him to be nice to this kid. He figures the kid's going to be gone. It's worth his time to be mean to him, but it's not worth he doesn't need to be mean to him, but he doesn't need to go out of his way. Like, he goes out of his way with the girl, but it doesn't even feel like,
but there's
to me anyway, it's not necessarily like a sexual thing or like he's trying to hit her. It's more of he sees that she's as good or better than him. She's going to be around in the company for a while, so she's somebody I need to build relationship with,
and
because
maybe if it goes a little something, he'll take, but it doesn't need to go that way, but maybe it will. Like, you might as well put the feelers out there just in case.
It's almost more like some of those guys are super mean to Im Siwan's character. Like, they're just horribly mean to him. And it's almost like his character is more like, it's not worth the effort, guys. Like, it takes just as much effort to be nice as it does to be mean. I might as well be nice, because I've heard that he has connections that got him here. So why would I piss this kid off?
Yeah, because there is a area where I could lose my job if
and also
I not mean to this guy.
Like, on one hand, like, you understand the character's motivations to being like a dick to this guy because they resent him, but on the other hand, you're like, you're a bunch of idiots. Like, how'd you? Yeah. Like, because not only does he have connections, supposedly, even though he doesn't, but he does. But also, other people see how you are treating him, and other people who are in charge of whether or not you remain at this company are seeing that you are being a dick to a teammate, even if you don't think the teammate belongs there. That doesn't work well in your favor.
Nothing about what you're doing makes sense.
Like, I know that I'm not, like, the best person to ask about inter-office politics because I work from home. My only coworker is my dog. Like, but I know people. I meet people. My husband's a banker. He tells me things. And, like, that's just not, you wouldn't do that. It's foolish to be an asshole at work. It's like not.
It is, but it makes sense in terms of the, like, those characters. It's like not in a makes sense that, like, it's just totally unbelievable and that's not the type of people. These are, like, you can pick up, these are kids that are hurt that someone didn't have to do the things that they had. They're also been coddled and rich kids who got everything that they wanted and someone else didn't have to do that. And they're also still super young guys out of college. So you're getting that character out of them. So it's like definitely not, it's confusing and just like, a character study of like the human beings. It's not like confusing or like
Yeah.
unbelievable as someone out in the world.
No,
right
like
now.
it's very believable that there are people like this, but I maybe just because like I don't know, I don't want to like talk myself up, but I'm like a nice person, and like even if I didn't like someone, I would still be nice to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but not everybody's like that,
you never
too.
gain anything from being a dick. I hate to say it, like maybe men do. Maybe this is just like from a woman's perspective, because the way that I've noticed, like in my life with women, which sort actually, I'm gonna bring this right back to Misaeng because it all connects. Women have learned that cooperation gets us further as a collective than competition. Mm-hmm. And I feel like men haven't learned that yet. Because, like, if you compete, one person can succeed, but if you cooperate, lots of people can succeed, which sort of makes, and then, so leading this back to Misaeng, when he's on his first day and was abandoned in the office, literally the only person who would help him was a woman, and repeatedly helped him, while all the men in the office basically told him, "You're on your own, champ." And so, I don't know if that was intentional, but it is sort of leading into these life lessons that women learn that men don't. I don't know. Putting that out there.
One of the things that I really felt watching this first episode, vibe-wise, very similar to my Ajushi, like, which my Ajushi came later.
Yeah.
And I think is also a TVN drama, but maybe not. But I think so.
I think it was.
Yeah, like, you know the way you guys said before about, like, an OCN drama, and it feels like an OCN drama. These both feel like TVN dramas. Like, they've got a little bit more realism and a little bit more character-driven, and there's just something about it that you watch it and you're like, TVN. I guess it's more realistic to say, or right to say, that my Ajushi has, like, reflects Misaeng, like it's got a similar vibe to Misaeng, but since I watched one before the other, I'm gonna say Misaeng feels like my Ajushi to me in some ways, like the way the office drama stuff is with, and the characters, and like just that sort of depressing vibe that few episodes have, that you're just like, there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel, like, and I have to assume that with Misaeng there's going to be, because so many people love this drama so much that I can't imagine that you would watch like 20 episodes of slogging depression and come out of that going, this is my favorite drama I've ever seen.
There's like the assumption that things are gonna,
something has to take a turn, right? At some point, even if it's slow. And my Ajushi, it was slow. It was the end before things got better, right? Like it was the end, but you saw the light at the end of the tunnel. By about episode 4, you were like, you could see that like pinprick of light in the distance, and you were like, it's coming. I'm getting there eventually.
Yeah. Well, and
I feel like maybe this one has that.
And I'm sure the light at the end of the tunnel was a very realistic light too. So it's not like some other dramas that might be like, oh, happy ending, everyone's like
fantastic,
actually singing along. It's like, no, it's probably going to be incredibly realistic, like something.
It might be even boring, but like it's still like a good thing.
Well, it's a slice of life drama, right? Like a slice of life office drama, so they can't go too fantastical in there. But we do know that we somehow have to end up back where we began, with him running through rooftops and being awesome. So I'm pretty excited to see how we get from sad sack in an ill-fitting suit to like hottie McSpy.
Especially when you know people like this show, so it's not like a super like drastic change where you're like, what is this show doing? This is completely different to what I was promised in the beginning type thing. So
it's not going to be a total what the heck just happened here thing. So I'm excited to keep watching it, keep seeing it, but I do think it's got to be a little at a time. Like I don't I don't think I can handle like just sitting here and like watching 20 hours of this.
I would want to talk to somebody that has done that, because I'm sure there have been people that probably did binge it, but I would want to be like, what was your emotional state during those 2 days of your life?
No, like I feel like if I sat down, like, because out of all four of us, if there's someone who's just gonna put their life on hold and just binge forever, it's probably me. But like I feel like I would be so bummed. Like by the end of day one, I'd be like,
you're just gonna be drained. Like even if it's
like,
not like you're actually like bummed out, you're just exhausted from this.
One episode.
Yeah.
Just exhausted. I was crying and I was like not like sobbing or anything, but just like tears leaking out of your eyes, kind of like poor kid.
But it didn't stop me from wanting to watch more. Like it's definitely like I don't want to binge it because I know the emotion that's gonna take out of me, but also like I want more because I want to see more and see how the story progresses.
Characters are interesting, and the story, even though like the story is boring, it's boring. It's an office, and it's boring. Like, but it's interesting somehow. It's kind of like that movie Office Space. Like the characters are interesting.
Yeah.
The job is boring. The workplace is boring, but the story of the characters in it is interesting.
My husband calls that a Harvest Moon show because I play this video game on my game called Harvest Moon, where basically you just wander around planting crops and flirting with ladies in town and mining. It's like so boring, but I love it so much. And there's like, you can't really explain why you love it as much as you do or why it's so entrancing, but it is. And this is one of those shows.
Yeah.
So well acted. I mean,
yeah.
Everybody. There's not a misstep.
And there's a lot of people that you're going to recognize in this show, even in just like the small office workers.
I love the little bit, like, I'm just thinking I think it was in the first episode, maybe when they're in the car, he's in the car with the boss after like going to like, head off the international buyer, and he teaches him how to play Go to distract him for a bit, whatever. And they're in the car and the boss is like, what made you think of Go? And he's like he gives like those one word answers like you were saying, but then in between it, you hear his thoughts, and his thoughts are like, it's the only thing I know how to do.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say it out loud, and there's a lot of that in it where it's like he's giving these one-word answers and like has a whole speech in his head that you get to hear, but like he's not sharing that with people, so it's intriguing. I like it.
I love his character because I love introverted characters. Since I'm an introvert myself, and to me it's this big spectrum thing between introvert and extrovert, and everyone's different on it.
Yeah.
But I love introverted characters like him, and he's such a smart introverted character. Like he obviously has a filter. Even though the office world is not his world, he at least knows to filter his thoughts on some level, and even though he has maybe even communication issues, he knows how to filter, like, he's not going to randomly make excuses, like, he knows better than a lot of things, whereas, like, many people in his shoes with such lack of experience would have already, like, said a bazillion excuses and whatever. So, I mean, the fact that he does own up to his stuff, and he does filter out those thoughts, but we're still able to hear them, I love it.
Yeah.
Being able to see that, I mean, I love introverted characters. Just being able to, like, hear those thoughts is really nice.
Yeah. Because sometimes the drama does it poorly, and they're like, they're giving you the one-word answers, but they're not telling you what the person's thinking, and so you're just sitting there going, like, is this just bad acting, or is this, like, I don't know what's going on here.
Almost like they're kind of making fun of the introvert, like, that's a bad thing.
And sometimes there's, like, a strange line that gets sort of walked, and sometimes better. Like, this one's working out quite nicely, but I'm thinking of the drama My Shy Boss, which I felt like when they were inside his head, where he was explaining, like, because they did a similar thing where he was literally way more introverted, like, couldn't even look people in the eye. And so when it would explain things like, so he wanted to ask a girl if she wanted something to eat, okay? And then he'd be like, well, what if I ask her this way? And then she says this, and then this happens. And then, so it goes through, like, he goes through this whole thing. But I felt like the show just gave up on this to, like, explaining why he did that. So I'm hoping that this continues for Misaeng, that it will just continue. So because on the outside, if you don't get that internal, he just seems kind of standoffish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like, if once you get the internal, like, like his own thoughts, then you just realize he's just sort of shy.
Well,
Yeah.
I think another example would be My Idea's Gangnam Beauty. I actually think that both of the leads are very introverted people.
Yeah.
And I know I'm biased, I'm not even gonna go there.
Yeah.
But a lot of
Literal
people.
bias.
Oh, knee slapper! Knee slapper!
What? I didn't even hear because I was thinking, what?
I said you were literally biased.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's what, but as far as looking at the characters, and I love My Ideas Gangnam Beauty, so I'm totally not knocking it. But those introverted characters, I think a lot of people misread them because we don't hear all of their thoughts.
Yeah.
Or even if they've just gone with hers. And in the webtoon, they explore her thoughts a lot more. And so I feel like that's kind of a missed opportunity of that, because it would have been a little bit more meaty.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people would have actually understood those characters more, the people that kind of misunderstood them to be like poor acting and stuff, which to me it was just obvious they were introverted characters, and so everyone thought they were like really subdued and really not acting that much. No, they were just introverted characters, and we just didn't get that inner thought life, sadly. But that's just
and that kind of also stems on like when people just can't relate to a character, and then they're like, it's just like something like, if they can't relate, then they're like, well, this obviously is not an actual like way that a human being like represents themselves, and then you're like, and then I'm looking at my ideas stuff, and I'm like, hey, yeah, you just wrote about that, but that's me.
That's me.
Like, that's exactly what's happening. Yeah. How many times do I write a tweet and then erase and go, no, I'm just not going to do that. Yeah. Sorry, my brain does that to me. Like, just because your brain doesn't do it to me, to you, doesn't mean that it doesn't do it to me. And that, like, this is an alien. Like, oh, no, that's not how someone can actually function.
I always get so frustrated when like there'll be a character that I like really relate to, and it'll be like, yeah, like that experience, like I've had a similar experience, and then someone will tweet something like, oh, this is so unrealistic, like nobody does this, and I'm like, yeah, lots of people do, just you don't. Yeah, like learn to have a little bit of empathy, dummy. Like.
But I do think Misaeng, like, since they give his thought life sometimes, like it's a good bridge for the people that maybe, aside from the office world, which of course a lot of people are going to identify with that, maybe people that would have struggled with identifying with his character specifically, being an introvert, being an outsider of a lot of things, because not everyone is an introverted outsider, but since they give those little thought things, it's a nice little bridge for people to understand him more, and then they give his backstory, and so that even helps even more for people that wouldn't automatically go, oh, the introverted outsider, I totally feel you already, like, I'm totally there, but they make a pretty good bridge.
It also helps that he's a cute little bean.
Such a cute little bean.
Such a cute little. Oh my goodness.
It makes you want to get him another nice suit.
He has
Another nice suit.
I know. Oh. Yeah, he has such like a kind, sweet little face that you're like, how could anyone be mean to him? Look how cute he is. Like a puppy.
Just want to pat his head.
So like every time someone's really mean to him, it's like kicking a puppy. Like
it is.
It
It really is.
So is. He's such a puppy, and you're just like,
who
why?
blames
How
himself,
can you be
right?
mean to him?
Who then is like, I deserved that.
I need to be better. And you're like,
I wasn't better at living, so that was on me. And you're like, no,
baby.
I was kind of scared it might have been the entire first episode, or a chunk of it. I was kind of scared that his personality was that he was just going to roll over and take everything and to give up quick, because it just kind of seemed like it, because he was getting kicked so much and taking it upon himself. I was like, oh no, this might go to bad places, as far as it was just going to be.
Right.
But because he had that competitive side with his Go playing, he at least has at least mental defenses, I think. Maybe not verbal, but he's more hardy than we realize at first.
He seems at the beginning.
Yeah, I was pretty scared.
Even in that first episode, when he's like searching for this squid or the octopus or what exactly is going on there. And like, it's so horrible that they leave him there, and then he's like trudging back and to the office, and he looks like a mess, and he stinks, and they're all laughing at him for being such an idiot, for working so hard and everything. And his response is, I'm going back to the office to fix the other thing that I did wrong. This is my job, and I need to fix it, and I need to do better. And I liked that, because it wasn't a defeatist thing. It wasn't like, you guys beat me. It was like, you guys tried to break me, but you didn't. I didn't break. I'm just going to keep working harder, because that's all I have.
And even the way he did that, like, they could have made it a little less, it could have been more depressing the way he went about that. But they did make it kind of like taking ownership and like, screw it. This is what, it was like a positive thing, but not overly shiny and
it was
pretty.
Still sad. Like, I was still like I said, my eyes were still leaking. I was proud of him that he was like, screw you. Like, he didn't go in to have a beer and let them make fun of him for the rest of the night, right? Which is kind of what they wanted, and I think
what they expected him to do.
A lot of people would, right? A lot of people in that region, a lot of people are introverts, and you do that. And she did too. She was like, yeah, I'm tired and I'm going home. Bye. And it was like, and then he like followed suit, and he was like, yeah, no, I'm also not interested in hanging out with you guys, because
you're assholes. Yeah.
Which it's interesting that he put forth the effort to go there to tell them that, and he didn't even say like, up yours or something. He was pretty professional about it. Like, he put forth the effort to go be professional in their faces and then leave them. Like, it was for a dude that has not been in the workforce, it's like, that was a pretty good choice.
That's bold.
Like, it was a good move.
Especially with the social work culture in Korea, like that's making a statement.
Yeah.
By being like, well, I'm not going to let bygones be bygones. I'm just not going to associate with y'all, and y'all can suck it. but politely.
Because he could have very easily, he turned around and went back to the office, which is where he met her. And
he could have stayed there.
They said, hey, you should come down for beers with us. And they both left the office together to go to the place and say, we don't want to have beers with you.
Yeah.
We're
not sitting at your table. Bye.
Yeah. We came over to your table to tell you, we don't want to sit at your table. Bye-bye. And leave. Like, suck it.
Yeah.
Like, without actually saying that, right? Like, it wasn't.
But it's very clear that's what's being said, but not in a way that they can ever act like mad about it.
I came here to let you guys know, without actually saying any words, that I completely disapprove of what jerks you guys are being to this guy.
Who hasn't done anything for you.
I'm going home. Yeah. And he does the same thing. I completely disapprove of what jerks you're being, and I'm not going to let you just step all over me, and I'm going back to the office now. Bye. Like,
yeah.
Good for you, son. And that's what makes you like, I can watch another episode. I feel like it's that light at the end of the tunnel, right? You see that he's not just like the puppy that's getting kicked that's just going to let you keep kicking him. He's like, I'm going to walk away from the kicking. If he was just going to take it, like if that episode had ended with him sitting at the table with them making fun of him,
you wouldn't respect him as a character anymore.
Like, I was just like, I can't. It would just be too much.
Yeah. It was already bordering on that, like. Yeah.
It was
emotionally.
And when he went back to the office, it was like, okay, like I feel like I need to watch another episode.
It's a pretty serious one. I do think there's a little bit of comedy, but I really wouldn't even call it comedy. Tiny breaths in between conflicts, I guess, and working really hard. I wonder where it's going to go, because to me, there's plenty of episodes to do Lord knows what. Like,
yeah, 20 episodes. That's a lot. So
we're all like, that's a lot of work to go through.
It's a lot of office time.
The monotony of going into work again.
One more thing I wanted to actually mention about Misaeng before we continued. Yeah. There's a prequel movie, which he is in.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that interesting, and I'll probably check that out sometime if it's available anywhere. Mm-hmm. And there is a parody. It was not Korea SNL, sadly. That would have been pretty darn funny. It's Misaeng Mul, and it's really hard to find. I actually have not found an English subversion. I just found clips on YouTube, which are at least a nice little glimpse at what they did with it. But yeah, it's not SNL levels of chuckle, but it's
where you can like watch it without like the English subs and you're still like, that was funny.
When you have seen it, like the clip that we watched that had no subs, having watched the first episode, you're like, okay, I remember this scene, I get this scene, and you get why it's funny. Like,
yeah,
you do get it, especially like when she starts having this English conversation and she's just like speaking gobbledygook, literally, and you're like, oh, okay.
This has been another episode of The Certified Nunas. We're found wherever you're listening to us now, but also on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. We're on Twitter at @Certified Nunas, and we love hearing from people. So please just come find us, and we'll just chat about K-dramas and K-pop and have a grand old time. Alrighties. We hope to hear from you soon, and we hope to talk again soon. Bye.
Bye.